Hey everyone, it's Kong, and I've got a new, hopefully bi-weekly series for you called Langrisser Lookout. This is going to be a mix of a community news roundup and also a bi-weekly status update. So here's the thing. I love watching other community members post their weekly updates, but I think doing one every week would be a little bit much for me personally. But since I'm still not super deep into the endgame with my own account, the stuff that I'm gradually working on might be helpful to direct other newer players who are scrambling up the ranks. You know, it's one thing for me to have kind of a small core PvE team that's fairly well built, but then you can see the little peripheral stuff that I still have to work on. So in the second half of this video I will talk about my progress with summons, farming Gates of Fate, gear, soldier training, and a little PvP update. But for the first part of the video I want to talk about the news, so let's start with that. On the PvE front, we have a new free redeem code, which is Easter, and that'll get you 1 voucher if you haven't already cashed that in. The April monthly newsletter was also recently sent out, and that included some more rewards. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, this is a way that you can get free vouchers and stuff in your mailbox. Basically go to the info screen in the game, and then go to the FAQ and go to special events, and there's a place where you can put in your contact info and they'll send basically a little newsletter with a code, and it'll probably go to your promotion box or your junk mail box, so keep an eye on that for the next couple months. In the game itself, the new Fireworks Festival is in full swing, and I've been posting videos clearing the first few plot battles if you'd like to follow along with those. So the first few of these have been mainly puzzly battles where your goal is to kind of do something really specific with the enemies. So I'll post a link to that playlist in the description here if you find that useful. And once we get into the actual challenges, it looks like we're going to get some more Secret Realm currency and also some Secret Realm skin tickets. And finally, the new SR hero Oliver has been added to the game with the latest major update. Now, I didn't talk about him in my most recent Should You Summon video because he's not a character that you can actually summon for. You start getting his shards from the newest story missions, so the same way that you get Angelica shards. On the PvP front, there's currently a community-organized tournament happening called the Summit der Langrisser, and that's being put on by Dango and Straw and several other PvP celebrity community members. There's actually a page about this tournament and other community tournaments that might be upcoming on a Wikigrisser page, so I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And I'll also link to Dango's YouTube playlist, which is where they're putting basically any of the streamed or replayed matches that people have played. So basically this is an Apex Arena-like tournament with about, I think, 96 people who signed up. And the first round is a round robin, and the top 2 people in each pool advance to a double elimination tournament. So I think that'll be 32 people in the double elimination part. And there are actually prizes of, I'm not sure if it's going to be cash or like in-game currencies. But it's fairly interesting, and the first week, the first round of this tournament is drawing to a close now. But if you're interested in following along, it's actually fairly instructive for people who want to get better at certain kind of Apex principles by watching high-level matches. I kind of got roped into participating just because I was in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, depending on how you view my record of no wins in this tournament. I'm not really a PvP player, but I'm definitely there supporting it, and I think it's a really cool community endeavor, especially the fact that it's so big and so successful right away. Kind of following along the same lines of that, veteran commander Sera is also hosting Apex Arena workshops. Along with a small group of other top PvP players, they're going to go in-depth with you to help you improve your box and your strategy, your band pick, approach, and on and on. So there's a link to the full workshop details in my video description below. It's basically a Reddit thread that Sera posted with instructions on how to get in touch and sign up for one of these workshops. I haven't done it personally, but I'm certainly planning to in the future. It sounds like it's going to be something that will take a couple hours and be fairly in-depth, where you can basically share your game on Discord and they'll walk you through everything about your account, essentially, and how you can tweak and improve for PvP. So the final little tiny snippet of news on PvP is that recently a new image came out showing Chinese Season 4 Apex Arena usage stats. It was laid out like a tier list, so it was a little bit confusing to a lot of people, but it's actually not a tier list. It's a list that shows the most commonly used characters in their meta right now. So it's kind of an interesting little thing. I only wanted to bring it up because I know that tier lists are something that very frequently enrage people. I find this one kind of interesting because it's impossible to really lay out in such a defined fashion which characters are better than which other characters because there are so many different factors involved. But this one is, I don't want to say useful, but at least kind of interesting because you can see which characters do get a lot of use. So I'm not saying this is something that you should necessarily build your box around, but if there are a couple characters that you're thinking about building up, then maybe this is something that could be helpful or interesting to you. Anyway, I just wanted to show it because I thought it was kind of funny. So, for the tail end of this video, I'll get into kind of a brief progress update on my own account. So first of all, I'll talk about summons. And I wasn't necessarily summoning specifically for Akaya, but I did drop one multi-summon just because, and she happened to show up. So I'm not really planning on doing anything with her. She's totally untouched right now, and she's probably going to stay that way for a while. But she is kind of interesting, and she might be the rarer character on that banner just because Brenda's coming back on a Destiny banner, so I'm glad to have her. I don't mind just dropping 10 or 20 or 30 summons on a banner just to see what happens, because worst case scenario, those summons carry over onto your pity rate for a banner that you're actually trying. So I figured like 30 summons for a random character that maybe you could use is not too bad of a deal. I wouldn't have gone too hard on her banner, though. In terms of characters that I'm bringing up through farming Gates of Fate, I just got Elwyn to 5 stars, which is nice. I was kind of working on him mainly for clearing PvE stuff for a bunch of Eternal Temples, and so I just finished him off there. I think I'm going to park him at 5 star for now, and start working on other characters who could add some more diversity to my PvP box. And then, obviously, as soon as I pull Tiaras, I'm going to drop everything and get her to 6 star as soon as possible. So the other little progress milestone that I hit from Gates of Fate is that I got Zerida to 4 stars recently, and I'm going to keep building her up as well, because she's super useful in PvP, which I'm really weak at, but she can also get some use in some PvE stuff too. And the other character I was working on was Listel, and I'm going to keep working on her for the next week or so, just to get her to 4 stars, and then I'm probably going to replace her with another PvP character that I can start to bring up. So for example, Yusuke, I'll probably start working on him. One of the reasons for that, actually, which leads me into my gear update from the last 2 weeks, is I recently pulled my first Mimir's War Axe from a joint battle. So it made me kind of feel like trying to use him and see how this works. This is a brand new Last Rites that I just got from Dragon Sweeps. I do have another one. This is my second one. In terms of good SSR gear, I also recently pulled my first Fury of Tyr, also from a Dragon Sweep. So I maxed that right away and put it on Landius, just because Landius is one of my better characters right now, so why not? He's someone I use, and he's good. I also recently got, I'm not going to go digging around to find them, but I also recently got my first Jormungandr's Eye and my third Tenyo's Robe, which are both pretty useful pieces of gear, so I'll gradually work those up and put them on characters who need them. And I also got my second Chiron from an event map. So that's something that I can find a use for. I don't think I'm going to merge it into my first one yet. I'm building one up for Leaden, and then I'm going to have a second one around just in case anyone can make some good use of it. Like, I think you can get some good use out of multiple Chirons in a couple Ancient Beckoning battles. So my soldier training is where my account has seen the most progress by far over the last 2 weeks. That's not to say it's good, mind you, but it's definitely progress. So I was sitting on a Hamburglar tier stockpile of 320 burgers, and I think I got that number down to around 50 over the last 2 weeks, just by totally going hard on Anarchies every single day, spreading it out, not focusing on anything really specific, but spreading it out over all my different soldiers to get level 12 to 13 in all their core techs. So you can see they're all looking very, very balanced. Not really very high, but at least very balanced down there. So I wanted to do that to give me kind of a starting point that I could then focus in on specific tech training. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. Obviously my burger stockpile is all but gone, but I'm kind of starting to get to the point now where I need to use SSR materials. So I have a lot of SSR books from all that farming, and things are going to slow down once I start to need the SSR mats anyway. So, I mean, that's something that's going to be a slow grind anyway, but it's something that I can continue to work on. I think I set a nice, strong foundation there at least. So the final thing I want to talk about is PvP progress, if it can be called progress. I did manage to scrape from Bronze 3 all the way up to Silver 3 in Apex Arena with my trashy PvE box and Mercenaries. So matches are getting tougher for me now in Silver, mainly because there are a lot of units showing up that I don't really have good counters for. So AoE teams give me a lot of trouble because I don't have Jugler yet, and Assassins give me a lot of trouble because I'm not good enough at PvP to know why they give me trouble, so they do. But I felt pretty proud of myself for getting over that 1300 mark with the limitations that I had. And it's nice knowing that I can't drop below Silver now. So I'm not letting it get me down or discourage me though, especially knowing that the results I'm facing in the community tournament are mainly because I'm facing really, really top-notch strong players. I still have hope of getting players around my same level in real Apex. So you can see my record's not awful here. Like, I do lose slightly more games than I win, but the fact that I got 10 wins, you know, if I win every couple games, that feels like progress, even if the points start to slow down. I'm going to keep trying and keep fighting every weekend. We'll see in a couple weeks in the next Langrisser Lookout if I've made any progress on this front. Yeah, we'll see. So that's going to be it for the first Langrisser Lookout. A little mix of community news and Kong progress update, and hopefully there was a little something in there to give you some spark of hope for your own account and your own box progress as well. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see in these videos, because like I said, I'm going to try to do them every 2 weeks. I don't feel like I'd have quite enough in terms of progress to crank them out every single week, and I don't know if it would really be that interesting for you to see really tiny incremental updates. But if there is something else specific that you'd like me to look at, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll try to do that for you. Bonds I'm not really going to get into much in this update, just because I haven't made any really great progress that I've tracked, but it's something that I will be looking at in future Langrisser Lookouts. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next Langrisser Lookout.